How do you avoid having a restraining order issued against you if you're a criminal defendant faced with domestic violence charges? There's only one thing that you need to do right now if you find yourself in that situation. My name is Veronica. I am a criminal defense attorney here in Los Angeles, and I help people who have been arrested put their criminal cases behind them so that they can enjoy their lives and their freedom. Now, this video is going to be explaining what you need to do if you're facing domestic violence charges in Los Angeles to prevent a restraining order from being issued at the first court date. Now, let's first talk about when does this situation come up. Many times in these domestic violence cases, the defendant and the alleged victim, neither person wants to talk to the other. They're broken up. There was obviously something bad that happened that caused this arrest. Maybe it was a big fight, whatever it was. They don't want to talk to one another or contact one another anyway. So if you were in that situation, this video is not for you. You don't need to follow the instructions in this video. But if you're in a situation where the police, you got into an argument, but the two of you are still together, you want to be, or maybe you didn't get into an argument and the neighbors called the cops, whatever it was, you still want to be together. If you're the defendant in a criminal case and if you have not been to court yet, what you'll find out when you get there is that the DA is always going to ask for a restraining order to be issued against you, even against the victim's wishes. And I made another video that a victim can watch explaining what the victim would need to do at that first court date. But as the defendant, here is what you need to do. So you're going to go to, I have the whole long URL here, but you can just go to Google and you're going to look up the County of Los Angeles Batterers Intervention Programs. So what these are domestic violence classes that are court approved. Okay, so look these up and find one that is in your area. You can see they have them all over. They're listed by location. And you need to start going to these classes. Now, many people, when they hear this, they think, well, wait, if I start taking these classes, I'm innocent. I didn't do anything. If I start taking these classes, aren't they going to think that I'm guilty? And the answer to that is no. Generally, let's say that you didn't take any of these classes. You go to the first court date. The victim speaks up. She says what she needs to say to the judge about the restraining order. But the judge still says, no, you know what? I'm going to put a restraining order on you guys. You can't live together. If you have kids, you can't be together with the kids. I'm going to put this restraining order on you. Generally, what the judge will do and the defense attorney has to ask is say, the judge will order the defendant to, if you do a certain number of domestic violence classes, lift the restraining order. So what you want to do, if you still have time before your first court date, is start doing these classes now so that the defense attorney can then argue and show the judge proof that you've been doing these classes. And then the judge is much less likely to grant that restraining order. The judge may say do a few more classes, but that is a heck of a lot better than the judge ordering you to do 10 weeks of classes and you having to wait 2 months before you can actually go back home and be with your family. So find a class on here. Now, there's a catch here because many of these places, if you call them, they're going to say, well, send me your court referral paperwork. And you'll say, well, I don't have any court referral paperwork. The court didn't give me anything. I haven't been to court yet. And they're going to probably tell you, they'll be confused and they'll say, get out of here. You don't need to come to these classes then. They're confused because most people get the public defender and the public defender can't speak to them before the court date to tell them to go to these classes. So they do have people who private attorneys refer them and they call, but it's few and far between. Many defense attorneys aren't really that concerned with this because does this necessarily help you with the criminal case to get it dismissed, get a not guilty verdict? No. But what I'm concerned with, in addition to those criminal charges, is what is your life going to be like until this case is over? It's crazy if the two of you want to be together, you have kids together. Sometimes really nothing happened. The police just show up and they say, you know what, sorry, we have to take someone in. We got a domestic violence call, it's policy, and they arrest you. It's crazy for you two to not be together. I mean, I've had clients that came to me where this restraining order had already been issued. They're sleeping in their cars. So I don't want that for my clients, and I really don't want that for anyone. So they're going to be confused. Just explain to them, look, I'm taking these classes before court. You can even say, an attorney told me. And what I'm saying to you on this channel is not legal advice. There's a disclaimer down there at the bottom. But you can even say, an attorney told me that I need to take these classes. Just insist upon it. For my own clients, what I'll usually do to make this easier for them is I will write this letter here where I'm telling them, hey, look, my client has not been ordered by the court to do these classes, but I want him or her to be allowed to do the classes. And then they're like, oh, okay, they get it, and they'll let you enroll. So if you call one of these and they're confused, don't give up. Keep explaining to them. And if you need to, call another place. There are a whole bunch of them here. There are 4 pages. There is a cost to these classes. Generally, it's about $25, but these are all privately offered. Now, you may see that if you go on Google and you type in domestic violence classes, Los Angeles, you'll find that there are some other classes. Some of them will even say court approved, right? Look at this, $25, 100% online, easy. There's a catch with these because these generally you're not going to get credit for these later. The court, and when they say court approved, many times these are approved for like the family court. They are not approved for the criminal court. So make sure that you're finding one that is on this list. Some of these still do offer online counseling. They used to not at all, but because of COVID, they started doing it. So if you really need to have one that's online, call around and you should be able to find one that's online still, at least as of the time of recording this video. I hope this helps. If you are facing domestic violence charges in Los Angeles, feel free to give me a call. You can book a consultation online down below, or you can just give me a call.